Welcome to the Truckin' Truth, Episode 5. Back in Ruda's 389 glider, pulling Ruda's Great Dane reefer, and we're going to be going from Denver, Colorado over to Montrose, Colorado. And as you can see, well, the weather's not going to be so nice this trip. So, how's World War III going for y'all? I have to say, mine hasn't been going all that bad. Really. Other than the internet being out the other day. But looking at the outage maps, I know by far I wasn't the only one. Pretty sure that was Russia or pro-Russian hackers. And the reason I say that's because looking at the outage map, it was like the entire eastern half of the U.S. was reporting outages. 80% of the western half of the U.S. was reporting outages. And then all of Europe was reporting outages. Everywhere else was fine. So, 2 plus 2 equals 4. Unless you're a liberal, one of those lefties, then I guess 2 plus 2 could equal dog. I mean, half those people can't even figure out what sex they are. How are they supposed to tell me what 2 plus 2 is to begin with? But here we are. It's been a week. A lot's happened in that week. The week started with, I kept seeing stuff on TV about Russia building up troops, getting ready to invade Ukraine. Honestly, I didn't think it would happen. But hey, I wasn't alone. A lot of people didn't think it would happen. But it did. And then out of the few people who did think it was gonna happen, only 90 to 98% of those, or I would say about 90% of those, thought they would only, go into far eastern Ukraine. Nobody thought Russia would come down through Belarus. But they did. And now they're in Ukraine. Honestly, this is one of the weirdest invasion/wars I've witnessed. In the wars I've witnessed, all the Gulf Wars basically, going back to Desert Shield. This one's just kind of weird. Seems to be a lot of... See, I kind of get hung up on that because I want to say there seems to be a whole lot of propaganda. And I'm not talking about from Russia. But then I wonder, holy shit, all these other wars, how much of that was propaganda? Just outright bullshit lies. Makes you wonder. It's kind of crazy. And then when you look at most of the footage, any little video clips that are coming out of this war, most of this footage has been debunked as old footage. The footage, it isn't even in Ukraine. Some of it you can hear people literally speaking Arabic in the video. And then you have the Ghost of Kiev story that had a nice little video that went along with it. And that video was comprised of Arma 3 gameplay. Yes, a video game. And people bought it. So I gotta wonder, what else have people bought over the years? And why is it that still, it's like half the country still can't see all this? And then you think about the fact that there is a war right now. Russia is in Ukraine. There hasn't been a whole lot of footage of anything, period. And then what there has been, most of which has been debunked. What kind of war is this? What is going on? I mean, when you look at what Russia has accomplished, I think today was day 4. So let's just say 4 days. They've done nothing. Absolutely nothing. I mean, ask yourself this. Take Russia. Take all their nukes away. Any weapons of mass destruction, take away from them. Could they have invaded Iraq? I got my fucking doubts. And it's funny because I've had this argument with people over the years where I've talked about how weak Russia really is and how they're not really the threat anybody thinks. And if you take nukes off the table, they're nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I was right. And I really hope a few of the people who argue with me so much over that and swore I was wrong and I was a moron for thinking Russia wasn't a bigger threat. Well, we're all watching now, right? Doesn't look like much of a threat other than the nuclear stuff. You take those nuclear weapons away from Russia, and what do you really have? Because I really don't think they could have took Iraq. Think about that. This war has been really weird so far. And it's like every day it gets crazier. Every single day there's more and more where, you know, Russia comes out, Putin puts his nuclear forces on high alert. And then I see the U.S. is urging all Americans in Russia to leave Russia immediately. You know, these are concerning things I'm seeing. Belarus has now said they're joining Russia and they're no longer a non-nuclear nation, and they're going to allow Russia to put nuclear missiles in Belarus. And then also today, there was a video of a general or maybe the president of Belarus. I don't know who the hell it was. But there's a video of him pointing to a map. And they're saying he accidentally leaked Russia's plans. This map shows the invasion, just how it's been happening. But then it goes beyond what's happened so far. And it shows that Russia does not plan on stopping with Ukraine. And I've been thinking that for the last couple of days. I don't want to start a whole conspiracy theory over this, but it crossed my mind that quite possibly Putin has been diagnosed with something. I think Putin knows his time is drawing near. And I think he's made it up in his mind that he's gonna do what he's always wanted to do, or he's gonna take the world with him. Scary thought. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But it just keeps getting worse. U.S. shut down their airspace to any Russian aircraft, right along with basically the rest of the world almost. They've cut Russia off from the banking systems. It's crazy because you watch it as they do all this to Russia, all these new sanctions. You know, the U.S. kicking them off, won't allow them to use the dollar anymore. It's pushing Putin in a corner. But what people really need to realize is pay attention to how he's acting. Because even though they've done all these things, and these are serious, dire consequences type sanctions that the world is putting on Russia right now. It's nothing to scoff at. By far, nothing to scoff at. Has it slowed him down one bit? Nope. Nope. He's continuing on as if nobody's even said anything to him. Scary. He's acting like a person with nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing to lose. And you can't defeat a person with nothing to lose unless you yourself have nothing to lose. Because a person with nothing to lose, they'll go any distance. They'll go to any length. There is no fear. So who knows? Maybe this is the last episode of The Trucking Truth. Hell, who's to say this video even gets out? Because as of right now, it's Tuesday. So this will come out Friday. Hell, we might not be here anymore, folks. I mean, it's a real possibility. I gotta say, it's getting crazy. Even Switzerland, who's always remained neutral, has come out against Russia and started placing sanctions on Russia. Switzerland. And then I gotta be honest, all this for what? For what? Let's say that video where the guy supposedly leaked Russia's battle plans on a map. Let's just say that's bullshit and a hoax as well. We'll throw that in the garbage pile with a bunch of the other footage. Let's say Russia does, their only plan is to take Ukraine and put a pro-Russian government in there. Or just absorb it And then that's it. That's as far as they go. And they're not there to kill citizens. They're only going in and taking out Ukraine's government. Is it really worth World War III and, God, untold number of lives? Is that worth Ukraine to the rest of us? And now I know, to that mother in Ukraine, to that small child in Ukraine, to them it's worth it. But we're not in Ukraine. Is it worth it? And then if it's not, if you answered that with no, it's not worth it, then there's an even bigger, more important question. What would be horrible enough to make it worth it? Because the answer to that question, you take that level of horrificness, from there down, that will be experienced. Think about that. But what do? You know, the US has nukes, Russia has nukes, a few other countries have nukes, and that's the places we know about. That's the countries that are like, yeah, we got nukes. I mean, honestly, how many countries out there probably have a nuke or two? Don't know. How long is Putin willing to be embarrassed in Ukraine before he resorts to small tactical nukes? And then are small tactical nukes enough to elicit a response, a nuclear response from NATO, the US? Crazy shit. Pay attention, people. And, you know, I'm definitely not a prepper. I'm too much of a procrastinator to be a prepper. But you know, I did prep just before the lockdowns with the pandemic, because I saw it coming. And I plan on doing it again now. So just some words of some friendly advice from me to anyone who might see this. You know, some canned goods, some jugs of clean water. Doesn't hurt anything. Especially because even if you take the nuclear aspect out, the cyber war that will begin, you can count on it right now. We won't have power. There will be no internet. We'll be extremely lucky if we, have cell service. And I'm sure even if we did, it would be sporadic at best. Sorry if you heard that, but I'm vaping. So be prepared. Nothing wrong with being prepared. I'm not saying freak out and run out and buy all the toilet paper that Walmart's got. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, some canned goods and some water. You know, you don't need to eat like a king at the end of the world. You just need to survive it. Or survive as long as you can. You know, I'm sitting here in Texas, near Houston, really close to Houston, even closer to the port here, a major port, 4th largest city in the U.S. If Russia does launch at the U.S., rest assured, I'm one of the bullseyes. But hey, I'm cool with that, because I ain't gonna lie. I would rather go when the bomb first hits, be killed right then instantly. Because those who do survive the initial blast but get caught up in the fallout, who at that point I'd rather be the dead. And besides that, honestly, the longer I live, the less I fear death and the more I welcome it. I mean, I'm not saying I'm suicidal by any means, but the world we live in, it's not that great, you know. And then I got some personal stuff, especially health-wise. It'd be nice to have a do-over. Everybody might be thinking that in a couple of days. Hell, everybody might be thinking that in the next hour. Although from what I saw, there wasn't a whole lot of action in Ukraine today. I don't know. None of it really makes sense. It's like Russia is there and they're just kind of building up. There's this giant convoy, and Ukraine supposedly has these drones. That convoy's just sitting there. I mean, it's just weird. It's weird. It's almost like it's all an act. Like we're watching a movie and starting to realize it's a movie. Name another invasion or war that's gone the way this one's gone. In any kind of way. It's just weird. Is it World War III though? Who the fuck knows? And to be honest with you, I don't even fucking care. There's so much shit and the shape this country here in the US it's in, the shape it's in, the cancer that calls themselves Democrats, the problems. To me, we shouldn't be worried about Ukraine. And Russia's proven, obviously, we shouldn't fucking be worried about them. We should be worried about the fact that Canada fell. The Ottawa convoys, no more. Came in, swept them out, took their trucks, took them. $100,000+ rigs, taken. What would you do if the government come and just took your house? It's the equivalent. Except that house could make money. The U.S. truck convoy, did they even make it to D.C. today? I don't even freaking know. You know why? Because the media here, ain't gonna talk about it. No, sir. When are we gonna fucking do something about that, by the way? The media controlling us, dictating the narrative. Saying, no, what you see and what you hear, that's not real. We'll tell you what's real. Nah, fuck you. The media. The time's coming, people are gonna have enough. And I can't wait. I cannot wait until the people are willing to get their hands dirty. Ooh, I can't wait. And it's coming. And then you take this World War III shit on top of what's already going on in this country. Ooh, there's some breaking points coming. I reached mine a while back. But there's nothing one can do alone. I'm waiting on the rest of you, brothers. But I'm patient. Take your time. You'll get there. Because they're going to keep taking and they're going to keep pushing. Everyone goes, oh, well, look, election's getting near, and now all the Democrats are dropping mandates left and right. You really buy that shit? You really think if they dropped all the mandates and everybody said, okay, well, now the Democrats have changed and the Democrats remained in power after the election, don't you know that's winter time and there would be a new strain and you'd be right back in the same boat? Don't let these demons fool you. Don't. To me, a Democrat's garbage. And down here in Texas, well, we handle garbage one of two ways. We burn it, or we bury it. It's just that simple. And if you are a Democrat and you vote Democrat, I'm sorry, but you are a cancer. You are what's wrong with this country. Hell, I'll go so far as to say you are what's wrong with the world. It scares me to no end when I think about all the Californians who fled to Texas here during the pandemic. Because I can tell you right now, they're dumb enough to vote the same damn people in office here that they were voting over there. And I will say this, if you voted Democrat all your life up to the last election even, and you go, oh, I'm not a cancer, How dare you? Well, you know, you can be saved. You know, sometimes cancer goes in remission. Hell, I'm not gonna lie, when I was growing up as a kid, my parents voted Democrat. Well, I never heard too much politics out of my mom. Mostly my dad. Big time Democrat. You know, fed me that old bullshit lie, the Democrats are for the poor and the Republicans are for the rich. But then 9/11 happened. I'm 21, at the time living in Detroit, Michigan, and it woke me up. I started paying attention. And it wasn't but maybe 6 months after that, I straight up declared myself a Republican. Because I started seeing some of the lies and the manipulation. Ooh. Truck does not want to stop very well in the snow and ice. I can tell you that. But yeah, I saw a lot of it back then. You know, but most didn't. The vast majority of didn't. It wasn't like it is now. More and more people are waking up. But, you know, when 9/11 happened, right after that, nobody was really awake. There was a couple, but you could already see it. And I wonder how far back that goes. The lies and manipulation. I mean, I would imagine it goes all the way back to the beginning of humanity. We are awful, awful creatures. We really are. Capable of some awful, horrific things. But I think that's going to wrap this episode up. Almost to my destination here. Maybe next time I'll be on here going, hey y'all, Russia pulled out of Ukraine. The invasion's over. They folded. Whoo, party on. I kind of doubt it though. We'll see. And hell, like I said, we could all be dead by then. I don't know. I'm gonna go drink a glass of whiskey and just say fuck it for a while. Y'all take it easy, and until next time, keep on trucking.